Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Brett's Brain. Today I'm going to give you a few tips on how to make sure you tell a great story during your first investor pitch. Hey, I'm Brett, former entrepreneur, current venture capitalist. Thanks so much for checking out this channel. Make sure you share, like, subscribe, and don't be afraid to ask us questions. I'd love to help you in your entrepreneurial journey. Our goal here is to help you succeed, or at least increase your chances of success. Okay, putting together an investor pitch is a ton of work for founders. Here's a couple of things that we like to see, or tricks that we use when we coach founders on how to really make sure they're giving themselves the chance at putting the best pitch together. Number one is remember that it is a story. You want a narrative. I always talk about story arc with our founders. What's your story arc? Think about that. What's your start? What's your middle? What's your finish? And why? It's not 11 or 12 or 13 individual pieces that are standalone. That you can put those out there, and that's like the stuff that you have to get out. And we've written a ton about the different slides in a deck and what goes on and all that. But what we haven't really talked a ton about is how they should all tie together. You need to make sure that all of those individual pieces tie together to tell a cohesive story. And there's not one right order or one right way to do it. It's really important to be thoughtful about why is this piece going here? Why is this one here? How does team tie into product? How does product tie into market? Think about those things. What's the right order for you to tell the most compelling story for your startup? It is a story. You gotta be a great storyteller. Being able to tell that story to an investor helps us realize, okay, can this person drive, and tell a compelling story to potential new hires? Can they tell compelling stories to customers? That's a part of it. It's not just about the fundraise. It's we're evaluating you as a communicator, as a founder, and can you tell that compelling story, which is something you're gonna have to do over and over and over again throughout your entire entrepreneurial journey. So put a lot of work into it up front. Number two, make sure that you're really data-driven. Being data-driven in your storytelling can help you tremendously. It's so much more efficient to use data rather than say we have a huge market size. A much better story is we have a $500 billion market. And our go-to-market portion of that is $10 billion. It always makes you seem far more credible when you use real data. You can use it in so many different parts of your pitch, and it really helps you tell that story and complete your story arc and make it a much more full story, much more full pitch. And that kind of leads to the next point, which is get rid of the fluff. Using data is a great way to think about what should I cut. If you don't have great data, it might just be a fluff slide or a fluff line. You don't want that at all. Don't try and squeeze something in just because you think an investor might want to hear about it. Get all your information down on paper first, write it up from start to finish, and then take a red pen to it and cut. Don't be afraid to remove items from your pitch. You want the stuff that's really important about your company to stand out. And if you have too much fluff in there or too much content, you run the risk of losing or not having your most important things seen by investors. You can always have information or follow-ups or a data room where you can put all that other stuff in there. In your core pitch, you really want to make what's important about your startup shine. And a great way to do that is be concise. Okay, and the very last thing is don't hide from the challenges of your business. There's going to be several things about your company or your industry or whatever that are really hard. Some founders put those directly in their pitch. Like, here's the 3 things that we're scared about. Here's how we're tackling them and going after them. If there's an elephant in the room, make sure you hit it head on. Don't leave it out there. Don't hope that somebody asks the question about it. Don't run from the stuff that's hard. Every startup is hard. That's going to also improve your overall story arc and the narrative that you're telling. So make sure you realize that you got to put a bunch of work into this story. It's worth putting the time into. And once you have it down, you'll be able to use it time and time again in so many different ways. It's not just for investors. Hopefully this is helpful. Make sure you share, like, subscribe, and ask us questions so we can help you in your journey.